Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. In today's video, we're going to break down the key tactical themes in Real Madrid's 3-1 win over Barcelona. When we break down the game and we do look at the board, we have Real Madrid in a 4-3-3 as expected, and Barcelona shifting into more of a 4-4-2. So when we look to the tactical battle across the pitch, what we end up seeing is that Real Madrid would drop off into a 4-5-1 out of possession, and their key theme was to ensure that Lionel Messi couldn't get on the ball. But when we look to Barcelona, their shape is much more interesting because they are dropping off in that 4-4-2 and they are outnumbered 3v2 in that midfield zone. When you look at the midfield battle, it is De Jong against Valverde and Busquets against Cruz, and that leaves Casemiro as the free man. So with that being said, you need Messi or Ansu Fati to step in towards his path to make it 3v3. But what Barcelona looked to do was that when Toni Kroos dropped off into an inside left position, they would have Pedri look to step forward to deal with his overall threat. And then if Mendy pushed forward, then Sergio Dest would have to deal with him pushing into that position. That does present an issue for Barcelona because if Mendy pushes forward, then you need Dest to step into his path, and Piqué will have to shift across the pitch to deal with Vinicius in a 1v1 battle. The logical approach for Barcelona is to have Ansu Fati stepping into the path of Casemiro or Toni Kroos dropping deeper, but they wanted Fati to ensure that Sergio Ramos couldn't build out of the back from deeper positions. So they ended up gambling, and there were times where we had Messi dropping off to close down Kroos or Casemiro, which often led into a foul. And the other option for Barcelona would be to have Fati and Messi sitting in between Casemiro or Kroos and allowing the Real Madrid center backs time on the ball. What often ended up happening was that Ansu Fati was the only Barcelona player pressing from the front, and at times Messi would be caught not closing down Varane or Kroos or Casemiro dropping off deeper. And if Koeman wanted Barcelona to press higher up the pitch from the front, then the best option in this situation would be to have Messi starting from the left, knowing that Nacho isn't much of a threat from right back, and have Coutinho help Ansu Fati push forward to help Barcelona press cohesively. Real Madrid, on the other hand, dropped off into a 4-5-1, and you had the wider players closing down Dest and Jordi Alba. In the midfield zone, like I said, Valverde would be stepping into the path of De Jong, even if he dropped off into the half spaces, and then you would see either Kroos or Casemiro stepping towards Sergio Busquets. Now, one of the key reasons why Real Madrid was successful out of possession here was that they did a very good job of dealing with Ansu Fati, who was dispossessed by Kroos and Valverde in those opening 15 minutes, and for the most part, they did a very good job of containing the threat of Lionel Messi. That's where that 3v2 battle is important, because you end up seeing Messi looking to drop off around that halfway line to get on the ball, and Real Madrid comfortably coped with that by having Kroos or Casemiro stepping into his path, and there were times where you had both of those two Real Madrid midfielders looking to close down Messi when he received the ball in deeper positions. When we break down the key tactical theme of this game, you could look at Real Madrid dropping off into a back three when Kroos moves into an inside left position, or Benzema dropping off deeper to link play with his teammates. But ultimately, Real Madrid were able to cause Barcelona several problems with their midfield runs into attacking positions. You could look to the build-up to their opening goal, and what you end up seeing is Nacho splitting Coutinho and Alba for Benzema dropping off the center backs, and that's when you see Asensio occupying Lenglet. Benzema is able to turn to run at Piqué, and when we focus in on that exact moment, that's when you also see Valverde running off Frenkie de Jong and Busquets into space beyond Piqué. Benzema is able to poke the ball across Piqué for Valverde, making that deep run into the box, and he's able to put Real Madrid up 1-0. There was a time where Ramos slid the ball out to Vinicius, which pulled out Dest, and Vinicius cut across him to play the ball to Kroos between Busquets and Pedri. That's when you see Vinicius making a forward run into Barca's half to drag out Dest, and Kroos takes his touch backwards and pokes the ball across Pedri for Mendy, who slides the ball across Piqué for Vinicius, continuing his run into space between the two center backs in left half space. But Lenglet does well to track the run of Vinicius and clear the lines. Now we could focus in on Mendy sliding the ball across Pedri for Vinicius, pulling out Dest once again, and now we see Kroos running off Busquets and Casemiro shifting forward ahead of Piqué. Vinicius clips the ball over Piqué and Casemiro for Kroos running off Busquets towards the box, and he plays a first-time ball across Lenglet for Benzema free on goal ahead of Alba, but he's denied by Neto. And if we look to one final example, it's Varane splitting De Jong and Dembele for Modric, and that's where you see Kroos between Trincao and Coutinho. Vasquez ends up pulling the ball across Alba for Kroos breaking freely into the box, but his first-time effort is saved by Neto as well as the rebound. When we briefly look at Barcelona, Their main attacking theme stemmed through overlapping runs from Alba breaking beyond Asensio. That was the manner in which they were able to score their opening goal, and it kind of sums up what they were trying to do down that left-hand side. Nevertheless, if you have De Jong pulling out Valverde, that creates space for Alba to push forward to peg back Asensio. Now, if you have Coutinho narrow in that position, then he can drop off a bit deeper to pull out Nacho, and then that creates space for Alba to run into. And even when we look to the second half, it's Messi ahead of Asensio and Vinicius, poking a ball beyond them both for an Alba overlapping run. Alba's able to pull the ball across Vasquez into left half space, but Courtois pushes it away, and Coutinho's rebounded shot is blocked by Ramos. And the second half followed a similar theme, with Messi consistently dropping deeper towards the halfway line to get on the ball, but he was closed down by Casemiro and Cruz at nearly every opportunity. Barcelona were still able to create a few chances prior to Ramos's winner. One witnessed Messi splitting the center backs for Fati in right half space, and he cut towards his right foot ahead of Ramos but fired a shot wide of the net. There was a time where Pedri split Asensio and Vasquez for another Alba overlapping run into left half space, but he fizzed a low cross beyond Varane and Ansu Fati breaking towards the 6-yard box. And if we look to one final example, it's Des breaking from half and sliding the ball across Mendy for Fati breaking into right half space. Ansu Fati is able to clip the ball towards the back post for Coutinho breaking free, but he nods his effort into side netting. Hi everybody, thanks for watching, and subscribe here for your latest tactical analysis and daily commentary on the InnerViews show. And if that wasn't enough, don't forget you could find more organic, unfiltered soccer/football analysis on the InnerViews podcast, the best soccer/football podcast in the world, available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and any Android apps on your Android devices.